Now, today's take of the day, I want to talk about Paul Pierce and why he is choosing to expose or try to expose ESPN. But before we jump into that, please like, subscribe, also hit the notification bell so you get the newest and the bonus content first. We put out content every day, so you won't miss any content here. Now, let's go ahead and jump right into this. Now, I've been on record by saying Paul Pierce has always been a great player, always been really good at what he did on the basketball court. His analytical skills in regards to him being an analyst, I thought were a little bit above average. I didn't think they were the greatest, but at the same time, he did speak truth. And that's, hey, that was his nickname when he played basketball. So I will give him credit there. I'm just not exactly sure how other people in the industry perceive Paul Pierce, which is the reason why I think he got let go by ESPN specifically. And I feel like he has a grudge against them. But the comments that he made actually was spoken on Undisputed with Skip and Shannon, where he talks about how he didn't like working for ESPN because only thing you're able to do for the majority of the time is talk about and praise LeBron James. And we know why Paul Pierce, made this statement. And Skip reacted to it, and Skip was right on point basically by saying that, they always been rivals. They always hated each other. Now, of course, Shannon on the show was objective and everything like that and tried to downplay it. But we all know Paul Pierce never liked LeBron James, and he never looked at LeBron James as that guy. He never looked at him as like the forefront, the face of the NBA, because he always thought he was better. Now, of course, Paul Pierce isn't better than LeBron James, so we have to get that notion clear and out in the open. But at the same time, he was a really good rival towards LeBron James, especially in, I'd say between 2008 to 2010, with the Boston Celtics and everything. They used to eliminate LeBron all the time. And then LeBron got on the Miami Heat and the roles got reversed. But, in all essence, I'll say this. I'm not going to say Paul Pierce is right for doing what he's doing, but at the same time, I'm not really all against it because I understand where he's coming from. But only thing is, it just looks like he's just being real bitter because ESPN fired him. And a lot of people might take it that way, but I'm gonna be optimistic about it. I'm not gonna take it that way because I've been listening to SportsCenter, ESPN a lot of times, First Take and all this. And the way they talk about LeBron as if there's no other player in the world that can touch his status. And to me, there's definitely two players that can touch his status. Because when you say Kawhi Leonard, well, that's LeBron's kryptonite. Everybody's known that for years. And that's the one person LeBron has always, had to play his very, very best against. I mean, regular season games, the NBA finals, Kawhi has always owned LeBron James. And then you look at Kevin Durant. I mean, Kevin Durant is 2-0 versus LeBron in the NBA Finals, even though he did play on Golden State, with Steph and Clay. But still, I say no, Kevin Durant is 2-1, I think, versus LeBron James, because LeBron did beat him when he was on OKC with Russell Westbrook and James Harden. That's when LeBron was on the Miami Heat Big Three. But my point is, there are other players that you can put in the stratosphere of LeBron James currently. Now, are the other two players I just named, are they on GOAT status? No, they're not at that level yet. But, they haven't played quite as long as LeBron James either. So it's like you have to factor that in. And, LeBron is trying to play 20 seasons or more in the NBA, and Kevin Durant and Kawhi Leonard haven't got there yet. But it just seems like ESPN a lot of times, First Take and all them, if it's not about LeBron James or whatever team he's on, it doesn't make sense. You know what I'm saying? And to me, I will give Paul Pierce credit. It doesn't need to be that way. You need to broadcast other players too, because other players have talent. Other players are good. Other players can play. Everybody's not on GOAT status. Right. I get that. But there are good players now. So when you say who the best player is in the NBA now, that doesn't mean they're the greatest of all time. That just means who's the best player right now. And if you take a vote on ESPN with all the analysts there, 90% of them is just going to say LeBron James because that's who you're supposed to say almost. You know what I'm saying? It's almost like it's written for them to say it. It's almost written for them to abide by it. It's almost like a rule in the Bible or something like that. So, in their Bible, I should say. And I definitely understand where Paul Pierce is coming from. And the reason why he did this is because I truly believe because he got fired from ESPN and he just wanted to tell the truth. And I don't think, what he's saying is going to rub a lot of people the wrong way, but it can, because not only people know that Paul Pierce and LeBron never liked each other, but to go out and do this at this point in time when you've been fired from ESPN for a while, and it just makes it seem like you have nothing else to do with your time except trying to expose another player or a business that you work for that lets you go. And I can see a lot of people looking at Paul Pierce being like bitter or something like that. I can definitely see that. So if you feel that way about Paul Pierce, I definitely, can't blame you, because really that's just the way it looks. It doesn't really look any other way. And like I said, when Paul Pierce was a player, I wasn't really the biggest Paul Pierce fan, but I will give him credit. He was really good, and he was a superstar player, and he made like 10 All-Stars, and he was a closer. He had a killer mentality. I did like that about him. But hey, he beat Kobe in the finals once, and said he was the best player. That really rubbed me the wrong way, because I used to be a huge Kobe fan, still is, of course, but when he played, I was even more of a huge Kobe fan when he was a player, as a player. But yeah, I just didn't like that. That rubbed me the wrong way with Paul Pierce. But at the same time, like I said, he's always been a great player, and he's always had a voice. I will give him that. But like I said, the shade he's throwing at LeBron right now, I mean, it's really unwarranted, but at the same time, it has some truth to it, So it's like you have to be optimistic about what Paul Pierce is saying, because, like I said, it has truth, and that's what it seems like to me. And when you listen to ESPN, First Take, all those shows, when it comes to LeBron James, nobody goes against LeBron. When they were saying Kawhi Leonard was the best player when he won the championship, the NBA goes through him. Everybody was sitting there trying to, doubt and, basically diminish what Kawhi Leonard done, by doing what he did in Toronto. And it's just really sickening to hear that sometimes, because it's like, man, are you guys programmed, robots, or trained to say this stuff? Why can't you just come out and just say the real? That year, Kawhi was the best player in the league. The league always runs through the person who won the championship. That's how it's always been. This year, a lot of people might say Giannis is the best player in the league because he won the championship. The league is running through him and the Milwaukee Bucks right now, and as soon as the season come back, and that's just the way it is. It's not really like saying they're an overall better player than LeBron in overall status, because LeBron's been playing a lot longer than all these players, and he almost had a 20-year resume of fine work of being out there on the floor and delivering titles and going to multiple championships. So it's all about what's right now. And in regards to what Paul Pierce is saying, if you have to sit there and talk about one player, which is LeBron, the whole time, it makes the show, it makes ESPN, it makes the whole enterprise boring. And that's what Paul Pierce is basically trying to get at. And I think that's the main reason why, he said what he said and wanted to put that notion out there. But I mean, I can definitely see how some people might take it wrong and perceive it in a way where, it makes him look like he's being very distasteful, or he's just being like an idiot, about the situation. But hey, that's my take on it. And hey, let me know what you think in the comment section about this. I mean, was Paul Pierce right for trying to expose ESPN about LeBron James and the whole enterprise and everything? Or is it just another shot at LeBron because he hates him so much and he doesn't want to see LeBron excel and win another championship? But hey, leave any comments in the comment section, like I said, and we can engage. And hey, Khaliis out.